Greetings! Welcome to the first devlog of 2026 for hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, I was supposed to be relaxing for the entirety of this vacation, and I slightly succeeded. I relaxed for a good chunk of it, but I couldn't help myself but take, throw myself at a project that I've said no to in the past, but something was sort of itching at the back of my brain to make work in some capacity. And so I give you this. This is not done at all. This is still very much a work in progress, but I have been basically trying to make a universal tripod for objects in the game. And so this is from everything from someone who would want to say set up a spotting scope, set up a machine gun, and what it does is it first let's grab its little feet here and pull this out. This uses a similar sort of system that, say, something like the Piat uses, where we can essentially slam it into the ground. It becomes a fixed mounted object. There's no collision on the legs here to prevent glitchiness, but then allows us to actually take an arbitrary object or gun. I don't know, let's pick Hand Crank Frank here, because that's hilarious. And what you're able to basically do is just collide this that object with the mounting plate on the tripod, like so, and it then becomes mounted. This is using a very similar system to the hover bench, in that what this is called, this object is still what's called pivot locked. It is still physics active. There is a little bit of give with it. It's using physics force to essentially move to the position of the tripod, but now when we grab its handle, we move it around. It has a very similar functionality to the affixable bipods. There's a little bit of float to it, but a decent amount of filtering. It actually makes a fantastic platform for super long-range sniping. Let's spawn ourselves some testing SOSICs. There we go. Do. So now we just have our mounted Gatling gun. Ready to go. Eventually I'm going to have this little clip be able to disable it. Right now I just have to pick it up like that and it will demount the gun. Hopefully it doesn't break. It still has some issues. And as you can see here with the various leg lengths and angle here, we could also do something like the traditional setup that we would want to do with, say, like an M2. Sort of put that nice and low. Let's go on over here, grab our M2 tombstone, like so. Grab one of these, and then let's all listen to how much old man Anton's back is sore as we get all the way onto the ground. We're just sitting on the ground here. I can just go like this. Boop. Grab this, maybe throw this up here to spawn lock. Insert that in. Pop that open here. Mount our belt. Rack it. Beautiful. Etc. So that's the idea behind this, is the ability to basically have something that allows you to turn any arbitrary firearm that you like in H3, regardless of what its mounting hardware is, whether it has rails, what have you. That system is not used. Just simple physics collision allows you to turn any... there we go. Oh, getting back up off the ground. Grandpa Anton over here. So yeah, let's pull that out. Make our legs here. We can see if we can get this even taller. There we go. Yonk. I don't think I actually have done this with a scope. I believe I did it with a rangefinder, But in theory, we gotta do this. We gotta put the telescope scope on it. Bonk. Pull this out here. And now, yep, there we go. We now have just a perfect fixed mounted telescope on our tripod. So yeah, as I said, this is not quite ready for showtime. It's got a bunch of bugs. I've got to do some state management for it. I've got to make sure that certain modes in the game don't like auto delete this because they think it's just been left on the ground. But yeah, the next time I end up doing an experimental update, this will be in the game and ready to use. But I wanted to show it to you now because it's just super cool being able to do this with various objects. So yeah. Ooh, yeah, let's put the even better. Haha. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, wait, that's probably the wrong eye for recording. There we go. Wonderful. Cool. Well, let's jump out of VR and do the main thing that this week's devlog is about, which is to go over the winners of the Holiday Sosic Style competition. Yeah, let's jump right into it. Yo! So, out of VR, let's jump on into our contest winners. I just want to start off by saying I was blown away at both the number of entries into this year's contest and the sheer quality of them. Just I know the tools I put in were pretty cool, but a whole bunch you took it way further than I expected. Some folks just did things from scratch in their 3D application of choice. There were a couple handmade entries, some that were using game screenshots but doing a whole bunch of compositing for them. Just amazing stuff. So thank you so very much. It's just always so appealing to put together a contest like this. Yeah, anytime you do a contest, there's always this fear, right? That you put a contest together, you put 5 categories into it, and then you get 7 entries, and you're like, oh, this is weird. But in this case, we've got a whole bunch more entries, so many entries that I actually added a few extra categories just so we could have a larger number of winners, because there's some awesome stuff here. So let's dive right into it. The first thing that I want to give, just as a little bit of a shout out, is the recognition for the H3 Quick Draw Award for the first entry submitted to the contest. Goes to Retro Squidito 4 for Shooter Ready. I think this was posted within an hour or two of me posting the contest rules. So fast on the draw, nicely done. And I love the image. Wonderful. Moving along, we're going to do Discord's choice before we do all of my categories. So this is the entries that got the largest number of lemons when voting for them. Before I get to the winners, I do want to recognize, which once again bespeaks the quality of the entries, that there were over 12 or 13 entries here that had over 100 lemons reacts given to them. Oftentimes with Discord or subreddit's choice, you've got this really strong asymptote where there's one, maybe 2 things up at the top, and then everything else has a few. That was not the case this year. This was very, very close, and there were a lot of entries that got a lot of recognition here. So well done, everyone. So Discord's choice, the bronze wiener with 200 lemons goes to The Grilled, the Bad, and the Ugly by Mallow. Just a wonderful entry, just a puntastic. It's a great image, fantastic work, and I'm not surprised at all that the Discord was like, "Yup, here we go." The silver wiener with 212 lemons goes to Ultra Grill Infinite Hyper Beef by Unpaid V-Bucks, with the very difficult to pronounce name. Awesome image, bold, just great reference, wonderful work. Nicely done and well earned. And then finally, the gold wiener for Discord's choice with 248 lemons goes to Absolute Wonderful by King of Lols 321. Does anything even need to be said? I mean, Delightful. I would love to know this. At first, I was like, oh, this is I wonder how they got the screenshot. And then I was like, wait a minute. I think this has all been remade in like Blender or something like that. Because the clothing has a ton of like poly depth to it. It doesn't look normal mapped. That chair is from somewhere. So cool image, and obviously like a cool production approach to making it. Good stuff. Moving right along, I've added a couple extra categories to the original one stated for this contest, because as I said, there were just so many awesome entries. I had to have a reason to highlight some more of them. So, in the category of best selfie, the bronze wiener goes to Gas Mask for their smiley face emoji peace sign entry. Here, many of you who are as old as I am recognize the scene that this is taking place in, which is the from Metal Gear Solid 1. But yeah, I loved the vibes of this image, and I think to be a great selfie here, having the moment before chaos erupts is just is perfect for this. So nicely done. The silver wiener for best selfie goes to reminder, memory replacement is the first step towards rank privileges by crazy weird idiot person. Just such a cool image. Like, I know it's referencing like a piece of Half-Life art, but it's just so cool to see it with the Sosigs. The lighting is fantastic. The sort of like piercing look is like honestly a little creepy. I dig it. Great image. And then the gold wiener for best selfie goes to Car 98K Dog for Hickok 45 here. I mean, come on. Does anything need to be said? It's yeah, every single time I see someone do something with the mustache so sick attachment, I'm further glad that I put it in there. Well, perfect image. So well done. All right, moving right along to the next category, we have another one I decided to add, coolest fight. There were a whole bunch of people who ended up taking some like surprisingly compelling and complex combat imagery, and so I wanted to highlight a couple of them just because they were a unique axis of cool that didn't really fit with the categories I had put together for this contest, so I made one. So, for coolest fight, the bronze wiener goes to Garrett56 for Breach and Clear. I love my comparators. I love that. I don't know if the green hue was like achieved in H3 or if it was just post graded, but cool composition. Love the opposing lasers. I definitely feel like I'm about to get lit up. So great stuff. The silver wiener for coolest fight goes to Hot Doggers for Sosig Amalgamation, which just, I mean, there's so many like wild things going on here that I love. Just the idea, the like SCP-ish kind of idea of just the like corpses of dozens of Sosig operators fusing together into a giant horrendous biped is just awesome. I am actually curious because its gun seems to be enormous. I would love to know what it is made out of. To have that look, or if just the pieces have been scaled up, or what trickery was used, but just awesome image, cool, very, very cool fight, great stuff. And then the gold wiener for coolest fight goes to Froggy for Ricky Dicky Knights. I love this image. I love the composition of it. I love the like foreground versus the background. We got Uncle Spam back there just lighting dudes up. I honestly would love to know like how much like Photoshop trickery or compositing was involved in capturing this, just given the fact that there's like several active tracers in the air and sparks. And I don't provide any sort of like in-game way to just freeze those in time and place. So I love an image that makes me go, I don't know how they put that together. It's a great shot and captures the feeling of fighting in hallways in the dark. Great stuff. Moving right along, we have the last of the arbitrarily added categories, which is the Special Art Award. I put this in because there were, I mean, this was actually, I think, to give you an idea of how I sort of like went about picking these winners. I had this big sort of spreadsheet, and what I frequently did was that I would sort of like go through all of the images, and for a given category, I would sort of mark things up for how many images I thought were sort of exceptional in one way or another in that given category. And then I sorted those to the top. And then from that sort of hewed down list, I then picked my top 3. This was actually the hardest. There were so many great images that I thought were just like great pieces of art, in addition to just like fulfilling some category here. But these, for different reasons of approach and process and things, stood out to me. So the bronze wiener for the Special Art Award goes to Indy Jacob for this absolutely adorable Getting Applewood Smoked. The moment I saw, maybe it's just because I'm biased here, I started like, but the very first digital art that I made as a kid was in like the first version of MS Paint, Microsoft Fine Artist, little icon editors. And so a retro image like this is just like a heart shot with a 50 BMG. I adore this image. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for making and submitting this, Indy Jacob. The silver wiener for the Special Art Award goes to Garrick 56. Static encryption detected, neutralize it. This is another one of those like hilariously different pipeline to make an image. I think this, if memory serves, from looking at the thread, this was made using one of those applications where you could sort of like dress up and pose your anime waifu, and thus the sosigs there are like built out of regular primitives. I imagine there's probably some compositing to get those static encryption in there. But it's a cool composition. It's like a neat aesthetic fusion. And I don't know, just for the idea of, as someone who, like, I've done so much machinima in my life, even before H3. And so the idea of like using one game to make an image of the experience of being in a different game just like tickles me, as someone who has always just been using programs like that experimentally my whole life. So great stuff. And then the gold wiener for Special Art Award goes to NeoSun for Operation Scarlet Hunter. I mean, wow. Absolutely cool image. I love the fact that the vampire costume I made for the Sosigs one Halloween like actually came to use for something. It's just like it's awesome coloration. It's a cool style. It's a cool composition. It's such a neat way of like using H3 as an art tool with other sorts of editing processes. I really dig it. I dig it. Nicely done. Well deserved. So moving on to the categories I had actually announced when announcing this contest, we're going to go with Most Memetastic. The bronze wiener for Most Memetastic goes to King of Lols 321 for Absolute Wonderful. I've already seen this image. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said about it. Incredible stuff. Absolutely needed to be in the final running in Most Memetastic. The silver wiener in Most Memetastic goes to Drummer Dude 2003 for My Little Sosig Mortadella is Magic, which this might have been the first entry during the month that I saw and was just like, what's going on? Like, there are many things. There's a laundry list of things that I thought might find their way into an image. Curly hair made of firearm magazines was not it. I want to draw special attention to the Stenoff magazine that snails around being used as the end of a couple of those curls. Just absolutely hilarious. It just makes me laugh every time I look at it in the best way. Fantastic stuff. This looks like it took quite a long time to do. So nicely done, Drummer. Oh, just wonderful. And then the gold wiener for most Memetastic. I'm sorry to everyone. I felt compelled to do this. Goes to Mallow for yes, it is. I don't think I need to say anything here. There was only one image that could win, and it was this one. Moving along, most stylish. This one was intentionally a bit of a broad category. I didn't even know what I was looking for going into judging for this. This was one of those ones that was very much about feel for me, about like what stylishness meant for an image. And so for in bronze, we're going to give the bronze wiener to Beta Jokey Boy Protogen for woke up this morning, got yourself a gun or several. I mean, that's a stylish Sosig right now. That looks like that's a Sosig and his posse ready to go cause trouble. I love it. The Franks family. Great stuff. Sharp image. Stylish as F. For now, the silver wiener for most stylish goes to Meat by KTU. Awesome. And if anyone who hasn't seen the film, you must. As if you're into guns, if you're into this game, you gotta go see it. But yeah, awesome image. Love the black and white styling, the posing. It just Sosigs look awesome for this. So very nicely done. And then the gold wiener for most stylish goes to Phoenix God for Last Stand. Just awesome. I love having almost the entirety of our primary figure off screen, just implied. The holstered gun, the light hitting the baseball bat, like the image tells a story. I look at this image and I hear like Hydrogen from the Hotline Miami OST start playing. Slick image, great color, great composition, well deserved. Great stuff. All right, our second, we're almost done. We got our second to last category. This is Best Holiday Spirit. The bronze wiener for that goes to Mallow for Home for the Holidays. Image is a little dark based upon whether you're like watching this on your phone. If you can't tell that that's a opened laptop that that our Sosig is watching. I as someone who spent a bunch of my holiday break on the couch because I hurt myself, I very much related to this image. Silver wiener it goes to Narwhalians for Meatmas Morning. So cute. Although, man, a tree made of that many guns is maybe the most hilariously dangerous thing I could possibly imagine. They all look adorable in their outfits. Great job using the sort of mixing the plaid pajamas with the Meatmas sweaters. Wonderful. And then the gold wiener for Best Holiday Spirit goes to Cool Burb, also for an entry called Meatmas Morning. with a return of the mustache. Oh, wonderful stuff. Both this was both the gold and silver here. They were so close, but this one put it over the top because the lighting is just fantastic, and I love the like floating, burning. Even though next to a Meatmas tree made of guns, the last thing you would ever want to do is be like, I'm gonna just hold a sparkler next to this. This is like freeze frame the moment right before the house burned to the ground. Wonderfully done. All right, and now it is time for our final category, meatiest entry for our 2025 Meatmas Holiday Sosig Style Contest. The bronze wiener goes to Me People 23 for Metal Gear Flaccid 2 Buns of Liberty. I love you. You won me on the pun. It's a great rendition of the image. I love that you drew it yourself. It's centered around a Sosig. It's puntacular, and it's based on a really great game. So it's got the whole package. Wonderful entry. Very well done. The silver wiener for meatiest entry goes to KK Duds for 7.62 millimeter full meaty jacket. I mean, that's just an awesome image. And of course, it's drawing from just absolutely incredible source material. But I mean, I would love to know how you even captured this. Like, I don't know what scene this was in, how the lighting was set up to get this, but it looks so cool. It's just such a sick composition. I would put that up on the wall. Great stuff. Fantastic work. And then finally, the gold winner for meatiest entry of the year goes to Mallow for the grilled, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sorry, this is the entry above all the others that just had it all. It's a great image. It's a great looking Sosig. It's a great composition. It is just stuffed to the gills with puds and jokes. Definitely take a moment to read everything in there. Why are they all hot dogs? Made me physically ill. I love it. It's everything I could hope for. And honestly, again, I hope there's a slightly higher resolution version of this, because I would love to have this like in like postcard format at the very least. So wonderful work, everyone who submitted. Again, even those of you who there's only so many awards to go around. I think everyone who submitted something, every single one of the images was a delight to go over. There were so many more that just like I felt terrible being like, oh, I want to put that in an award category, because as I said, there was just so much great stuff. So we're gonna roll out the video. We're gonna play out the end of this video with showing everyone's entry. Just so you can see them all, and so that they're all immortalized in the devlog here. Thank you again, everyone, for submitting stuff. It has, especially now that we've got some like content creation tools built into the game, I kind of want to do more contests. I'm gonna figure it out, because this was super fun to do, and I love seeing the stuff that you folks make. And honestly, in an era of the disposability of art creation and AI slop and things like this was a really like fulfilling thing to just like come together as a community and for us all to do an art project together on a theme. This certainly made my holidays better, and I hope in its small way it did yours as well. So thank you again. Well, with that, I'm going to head out and I'm going to play out with everyone's entries. I will see you folks all next week, where we'll start talking about what's going on for 2026. I hope you all have a wonderful last few days of your holiday break, to whatever degree that you get one, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Huh?